Hey, hey, hey. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining me again. It's your girl, Unique Air, the girl to the elders, and auntie for the rest of y'all. Anybody up under 30, I'm auntie. I'm your girl, anybody over that, all right? It's your girl, Unique Air, once again, coming out of the book Astral Body by A.E. Powell. All right. I call myself your death doula. But we know there truly is no death. It's only life after life, right? So what I do is I read principles that will help you in this life and the next when you're crossing over. Okay. So what we're going to get into this week is the Kundalini energy. I hope everybody out there doing good, but we're about to get this read and this discussion in and let that be that. All right. All right. So Kundalini. The student is referred to the etheric double for a description of Kundalini with special reference to the etheric body and its chakras. Here we're concerned with it in connection with the astral body. The three known forces which emanate from the logos, which is another word for word, are, and they're using Indian terms here because this is Middle Eastern concepts, okay? Fohat, which shows itself as electricity, heat, light, motion, etc. Then number two, you have prana, which shows itself as vitality. Number three, kundalini, also known as the serpent fire. Each of these three forces exist on all planes of which we know anything. All right. So you got Fohat, prana, and kundalini on all three planes. So far as is known, no one of the three is convertible into any of the others. They each remain separate and distinct. So Fohat, again, is electricity, heat, light, motion. Prana is vitality. Kundalini is the serpent fire. They don't intermix. All right. Kundalini is called, in the voice of the silence, the fiery power and the world's mother, the first, because it appears like liquid fire as it rushes through the body. And the course it should follow is a spirally one, like the coils of a serpent, or for those of my ethnicity, the coils of your hair. Okay. It is called the world's mother because through it our various vehicles may be vivified, which is through prana, right? So that the higher worlds may open before us in succession. Its home in man's body is the chakrams at the base of the spine. And for the ordinary man, it lies there unawakened and unsuspected during the whole of his life. It is far better for it to remain dormant until the man has made definite moral development, until his will is strong enough to control it and his thoughts pure enough to enable him to face its awakening without injury. No one should experiment with it without definite instruction from a teacher who thoroughly understands the subject, for the dangers connected with it are very real and terribly serious. This is when you waking up your kundalini energy. You shouldn't be doing that. Don't let nobody talk you into, oh, just breathe like this or just do this and do that. No, you have to allow it to open up at its own time, because if you're doing that, you can really injure yourself. It says some of them are purely physical. Some of the injuries that you get from trying to do it too soon is purely physical. Its uncontrolled movement often produces intense physical pain. This is when the Kundalini energy is moving through your body and it's uncontrolled. And it may readily tear tissues and even destroy physical life. It may also do permanent injury to vehicles higher than the physical, meaning it might not just mess up your physical, it may mess up your astral body, your etheric body, your mental body, right? So you don't jump into stuff just because somebody telling you this what you should do. You have to be led by spirit to awaken certain things in your spirit body. All right. It says one very common effect of rousing it prematurely is that it rushes downwards into the body instead of upwards, and thus excites the most undesirable passions, excites them and intensifies their effects to such a degree that it becomes quite impossible for the man to resist them. because a force has been brought into play in whose presence he is quite helpless. Such men become satyrs, monsters of depravity, the force being beyond the normal human power of resistance. When they say such men become satyrs, that's like the Baphomet. You become an animal. You've awakened something in your body that you have no understanding of, that you have not put in the spiritual work to let it bloom like a lotus flower on its own. And so now you become a beast, depraved, having appetites that are just terrible, right? So that made me think about, since we in the midst of this Diddy thing, him having that appetite, taking advantage of any and everything, children, men, women, just probably messing with animals too. You become a satire. Look that up. A satyr. That's STYRS. Monster of depravity. The force being beyond the normal human power of resistance. Yeah, a person like that, when they wake up that Kundalini energy and they haven't done the work for it, they do monstrous things. Think about your guy Diddy here. Okay? That man is he's just totally out of control. He was out of control. One of his victims was young as 9 years old. A 9-year-old boy. I mean, there was no stopping him as far as who he would assault. And all the people that was a part of it, they probably awakened their Kundalini energy the wrong way. The wrong way. I'm going to let y'all look up what the wrong way is, but you don't want to do it the wrong way. All right? It says here, they may probably gain certain supernormal powers, but these will be such as will bring them into touch with a lower order of evolution, with which humanity is intended to hold no commerce, and to escape from its thraldom may take more than one incarnation. So basically, messing around with opening up your Kundalini energy and doing it the wrong way, you're gonna evolve backwards. You're going to become beast-like in your behavior, in your appetites, right? This makes me think of the whole of Hollywood. It's a whole pedophile ring, drinking babies' blood and adreno. Y'all know what I'm talking about, that chrome. Yeah. All right. It says here, to escape from its thraldom may take more than one incarnation. So these people ain't going nowhere, y'all. These people that excite that Kundalini energy, that serpent fire at the base of the spine, the first chakra. When they do that the wrong way, they pretty much trap themselves for constantly coming back over and over and over and over, because see, they constantly building up more, reaping what they sown, more karma for themselves. So it's like it's a trap, and they want to pull others into that. Says there's a school of black magic which purposefully uses this power in this way, in order that through it may be vivified those lower chakrams which are never used by the followers of the good law. So certain schools of black magic that want to arouse your Kundalini energy the wrong way, right? The premature unfoldment of Kundalini has other unpleasant possibilities. It intensifies everything in the man's nature, and it reaches the lower and evil qualities more readily than the good. In the mental body, ambition is very readily aroused and soon swells to an incredibly inordinate degree. Think about the ambition that Diddy had. Ambition to stay on the top. I got the keys to the city. The ambition was just, and there's nothing wrong with ambition when it's aroused in the right way. When it's aroused in the wrong way, our friend Diddy, we can see what happens there. Okay? Says here, it reaches the lower and evil qualities more readily than the good ones. In the mental body, ambition is very readily aroused and soon swells to an incredibly inordinate degree. Inordinate means it's not ordinary. Okay? It will probably bring with it a great intensification of intellect, accompanied by abnormal and satanic pride, such as is quite inconceivable to the ordinary man. Who can conceive of what Diddy has done? Everybody's sitting back like, what? He did what? To who? When? How? Who participated in that? Inconceivable. Inordinate affections. Your Holy Bible talks about inordinate affections, right? Receiving in themselves that recompense for the inordinate affections that they putting out. That's that Kundalini energy that is being aroused in people the wrong way, too fast. They didn't put in the work. An uninstructed man who finds that Kundalini has been aroused by accident should at once consult someone who fully understands these matters. That's how bad it is. If it's been aroused by accident, you need to see somebody quick. All right. The arousing of Kundalini, the method of doing which is not publicly known, and the attempt to pass it through the chakrams, the order of which is also deliberately concealed from the public, should never be attempted except at the express suggestion of a master teacher who will watch over his pupil during the various stages of the experiment. The most solemn warnings are given by experienced occultists against any way attempting to arouse Kundalini, except under qualified tuition, because of the real and great dangers involved. As it said in the, oh boy, y'all, this is a long Indian word. As it said in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, it gives liberation to yogis and bondage to fools. So if you awaken your Kundalini energy and you do it the right way, it frees you. It frees you. We don't read the good about it, but if you do it in the wrong way, it gives liberation to fools. People who gonna do the wrong thing with it, and they gonna get a block to themselves, right? They gonna get hurt. It says here, in some cases, Kundalini wakes spontaneously, so that a dull glow is felt. It may even begin to move of itself, though this is rare. In this latter case, it would be likely to cause great pain. What they just talked about. If you do it the wrong way, it's going to cause pain in your body. As since the passages are not prepared for it, it would have to clear its way by actually burning up a great deal of etheric dross, which is necessarily a painful process. So when you waken it early and it's rising up the chakrams in that snake-like way, it's got to burn stuff up. See, because you didn't do the work before you woke it up. And in the process of burning stuff up, your desires is out of control. You just overly ambitious. You become satanic in your appetites. You become like a satire, like a Baphomet. Okay. It says when it thus awakes of itself or is accidentally aroused, it usually tries to rush up the interior of the spine instead of following the spiral course into which the occultist is trained to guide it. If it be possible, the wheel should be set in motion to arrest its onward rush. But if that proves to be impossible, as is most likely, no alarm need to be felt. So it says again, if it be possible, the wheel should be set in motion to arrest its onward rush. But if that proves to be impossible, as is most likely, no alarm need to be felt. It will probably rush out through the head and escape into the surrounding atmosphere, and it is likely that no harm will result beyond a slight weakening. Nothing worse than a temporary loss of consciousness need be apprehended. The worst dangers are connected not with upwards rush, but with its turning downwards and inwards. So it's supposed to go up. When your Kundalini is awakened, it's supposed to go up. But when it's awakened the wrong way and it goes downward or inverted into yourself, that's a problem. Its principal function is connection with occult, which means secret. So its principal function is connection with secret development, is that it's being sent through the chakrams and the etheric body. It vivifies. Remember, that's prana. It vivifies these chakrams and makes them available as gates of connection between the physical and astral bodies. It is said in the voice of the silence that when Kundalini reaches the center between the eyebrows and fully vivifies it, it confers the power of hearing the voice of the master, which means, in this case, the voice of the ego of the higher self. You hear that inner man, aka the Holy Ghost, aka your higher self. You can hear it more clearly when that Kundalini energy is opened up the right way and it rises up to at least the point in between the eyebrows. And over there in India, the Hindus, they usually have a dot right here to signify that their Kundalini has risen and that third eye is open, right? says here, yeah, once it raised to the center of the eyebrows and is fully vivified, it confers the power of hearing the voice of the master, which means in this case, the voice of the ego or the higher self. The reason is that when the pituitary body is brought into working order, it forms a perfect link with the astral vehicle so that through all communications from within can be received. You get that? When the pituitary body, you know what a pituitary gland is, it's right back up in here. When the pituitary body is brought into working order, it forms a perfect link with the astral body so that through it, all communication from within can be received. In addition, all the higher chakrams have to be awakened in due course, and each must be made responsive to all kinds of astral influences from the various astral subplanes. Most people can't gain this during the present incarnation. If it is the first in which they have begun to take these matters seriously in hand. See, that's something about when you read these books, the punctuation is not always right because this is a Mideastern book. It says, in addition, all the chakrams have to be awakened in due course, and each must be made responsive to all kinds of astral influences from the various astral subplanes. Most people cannot gain this during the present incarnation, if it is the first in which they have begun to take these matters seriously in hand. So most people don't do this the first incarnation. Some Indians might succeed in doing so, as their bodies are by heredity more adaptable than most others, but it is for the majority of men the work of a ladder round altogether. When they talk about Indian, they're talking about Hindu over there, right? But we are the true Indians or the true um, natives. So we have that gift being the true natives of this land, the true indigenous, Anasazi. We are the true Indians, if you want to use that term. But because I'm Choctaw Cherokee by matrilineal heritage. But yeah, so it would be easy for us if we could just focus and stop worrying about what's on TV, stop worrying about what's on social media, stop worrying about all this other stuff that they putting out there to distract us, and learn how to focus so we can get out of these bodies. Because we can get out. But I'm going to hold that chapter on. Hold on. So it says here, the conquest of Kundalini has to be repeated in each incarnation, since the vehicles are new each time. But after it has been once achieved, these repetitions will be an easy matter. Its action will vary with different types of people. Some would see the higher self rather than hear its voice. Wow. For some people, you may see your higher self. It makes me think about that man that came to visit me back in 2008. He walked through the wall, and I wonder, was that my higher self? Am I male, masculine energy in the spirit realm? Because I got the long locks now. My hair has grown out, and but no, I think that was an ancestor. But when your Kundalini is awakened the right way, you may even see your higher self, other than just hearing the voice, right? Its action will vary with different types of people. Some would see the higher self rather than hear its voice. Also, this connection with the higher has many stages. For the personality, it means the influence of the ego. But for the ego himself, it means the power of the monad. And for the monad, in turn, it means to become a conscious expression of the logos, of the word. There does not appear to be any age limit with regard to the arousing of Kundalini. See, so it's not just for adults. Kids can arouse a Kundalini as well. But physical health is a necessity owing to the strain involved. You got to be in good health, when you're doing this kind of work with your spiritual body. An ancient symbol was the thyrsus, that is, a staff with a pine cone on its top. In India, the same symbol is found, but instead of the staff, a stick of bamboo with 7 knots is used. In some modifications of the mysteries, a hollow iron rod said to contain fire was used instead of the thyrsus. The staff or stick with 7 knots represents the spinal cord with its 7 chakrams. The hidden fire is, of course, Kundalini. The thyrsus was not only a symbol, but also an object of practical use. It was a very strong magnetic instrument used by initiates to free the astral body from the physical when they passed in full consciousness to this higher life. The priest who magnetized it laid it against the spinal cord of the candidate and gave him in that way some of his own magnetism to help him in that difficult life and in the efforts which lay before him. And that's the chapter on Kundalini, y'all. So that Kundalini energy, it's nothing to play with. And I already did a chapter on thought forms. That's the first one I did. I wanted everybody to understand that how serious thoughts are, and when astral matter and the 2 different types of thoughts, and when astral matter gathers around the thought, that vivifies it more. That's that prana that vivifies the thought and makes things happen that much quicker. Okay. The next chapter would be physical life, and this one here, I was reading this one this weekend and I just was blown away. I was really, really, literally blown away. So I'm going to upload this Kundalini one, and then I'm going to come back with the physical life. You want to definitely, if you're watching this, you definitely want to hear the one about the physical life. That one is it's a more of an easy read, and it explains things so much better. So thank you again for joining me for the reading of The Astral Body by author A.E. Powell. Reading about the Kundalini energy. Oh, y'all, I feel like my allergies. It's a warm day today. This is November 4th, and I had to open my window because it's so warm, and I feel like allergies are trying to, now you get that itchy. Anyway, thank you for joining me again. This is your girl, Unique Air, for the elders out there, and this is Auntie for the young folks out there, giving you principles that will help you in this life and beyond. The things that I talk about on my channel not only help you here, they're going to help you when you don't even have this body no more. Okay? So tune in, like, share, subscribe, and see you next time. I will see you guys next time. I really appreciate those that do watch, because it's not a popularity contest for me. This is not about trying to make some money would be nice, but it ain't even about making the money for me. It's about getting the knowledge out. Most people are unaware of these books and things like that's out there. They don't know. A lot of stuff has been taken from the youth and from the elders. And our understanding of things, people don't even look in dictionaries no more. They go straight to Google. And do y'all know they change things every so many years? So now this generation got to understand in this way, and this generation got to understand this way. But one thing that's really beautiful is that spiritual principles never change. They never change. The astral realm that's there today has been there forever. All right. And we read about the astral plane and how many levels it is. It's 7 levels. I mean, I'm not going to go into all of that. But for me, I do this because not only is it helping me, but like I said, I want to help other people to understand what to expect. You're not going to die and not know nothing anymore. It doesn't work like that. And that's why I'm about to read the next one about the physical life and how the astral body acts upon the physical life. That one is one that you definitely want to tune into. So on that note, Auntie is out, y'all. Have a good day.